Hi, I'm Dennis Potter. We daily hear about events taking place across our world where communities and organizations are confronted with dealing with incredibly difficult situations, such as downsizing, robbery, shootings, mass shootings, terrorist attacks, etc. The organizations are affected as well as their employees, and how well the organization responds to these events largely helps to determine how well and how quickly they can bounce back and return to productivity. At R3 Continuum, R3, we specialize in helping both organizations and their employees increase their natural resiliency, their normal ability to help themselves, help each other, get back to productivity in their lives. And we call this range of services disruptive event management. So how do we do this? Well, we start by understanding that while events affect both the organization and its employees, we must separate the reactions of each entity. Think about reactions being along a continuum of reactions from none to mild to disruptive to significant, catastrophic. Let's start with the organization. An event happens that has the power to disrupt the normal routine or productivity of the organization. The leadership may have limited knowledge and experience in dealing with the aftermath of this type of event and calls R3. At this point, we are starting to provide disruptive event management services to help explore with the management team the after effects of the incident and help them to strategize some methods for moving forward to help resolve the issue. We can provide a range of consultative services. Sometimes this might be enough. Other times, additional interventions may be required. So what are they? If it's determined by the organizational leadership and the R3 staff that this is an event that has caused sufficient upset to the organization, we may determine where does it fall on this reaction continuum. Is it a disruptive event? This type of event most often happens outside the actual workplace. It includes the unexpected death of an employee, death by physical trauma, suicide, and of an employee or employees, family member, etc. Is it a significantly disruptive event? And these typically are some things that happen more likely in the workplace. And it can include events like robbery, shooting, domestic violence that spills over into the workplace, downsizing, terrorist attack, etc. Lastly, does it fall further to the right on the category of kind of catastrophic event? And these most typically are either natural or man-made disasters that can include tornadoes, hurricanes, forest fires, plane crashes, and accidental explosions, etc. As we look at this from a continuum perspective, the disturbances of the organization get bigger and more complex as we move from the stressful event, the disruptive event, to the catastrophic traumatic event. But what about the employees? Well, here's where it gets a little tricky, because it's easy to assume that employees of the organization that just experienced these type of event would automatically be traumatized at some level to completely dysfunctional at the highest level and not so much at the lowest level. And this is the assumption that's not accurate. Research clearly shows that individuals have an amazing ability to pull through quickly and completely after events. So for the individual employees, all of the events we described here are potentially disruptive events. And while we can presume that the more disruptive an event is for the organization, greater likelihood of more intensive reactions by more employees, still we must not presume that all are affected, and especially not affected to the same degree. Going back to our continuum idea, individual employees can be affected from a range of no particular reactions to mild to disruptive to dysfunctional. So a potentially disruptive event is any event that has the power to disrupt individual coping skills temporarily, but as a consultant providing disruptive event management services, it's critically important that we start from a position where we are confident that employees possess natural coping skills that are working pretty well for them most of the time, and they will begin to use those skills or new ones that they may be exposed to from their colleagues or taught by us to tap into their natural resilience. Thank you for watching this edition of Inside Crisis.